Now, sticking with our roads, crews hard at work patching up a sinkhole that swallowed a car.
Yeah, the driver's okay. I want to let you know that right off the top. 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala is live in El Cajon. Mimi, those crews expect to be out there for hours more, huh?
They're thinking all day long, Virginia. Brian, we're on Johnson and Vernon Way, and you can see that they are really hard at work this morning. They just got done pumping all of the water out of the sinkhole about, I would say, a minute ago or so. Now they're working on the next steps. They found the broken pipe, and they're trying to repair all of this and then the road as well. They have been here all morning long. We have some video shot just about an hour ago. They've been removing asphalt and digging into the ground. Helix Water District crews turned off the water yesterday, so right now 5 businesses in this area will not have any access to water, but crews hope to have it back on by at the very earliest 1 o'clock this afternoon. And here's what this all looked like last night. Once that car dropped straight into the ground and created the sinkhole, it was swallowed up and turned upside down. Fortunately, that driver was rescued by officers who were here at the scene, and she was not hurt. Now, Johnson at Vernon Way will remain closed, but the southbound lane on Johnson is open right now. We will stay out here to bring you the progress as the crews continue to make it and bring you with any new updates as we learn more. But for now, we're live in El Cajon. Mimi Alcala, 10 News.
All right, Mimi, thanks for the update there. Deputies, meanwhile, asking for any information as they try to track down the gunman who shot and killed a man outside his home in Ramona. The victim's name hasn't been released yet, but we tracked down his roommate. Ben Ledbetter says the man was 20 years old, was from the Ukraine. He believes he was actually the one who was being targeted here, not the victim.
And he was ripped from this earth because somebody was angry at me, and they killed him because I love him.
Detectives questioned Ledbetter. They also confiscated several of his belongings, hoping that it could lead them to the killer.
6:35 happening today. James Comey's memoir detailing his short time as FBI director with the Trump administration is hitting store shelves. It's called A Higher Loyalty. It's the first book written by a key player of the Trump White House. It's already #1 on Amazon's best-selling list. Comey has said President Trump is not morally fit to be president. The president has responded saying Comey lied under oath and should be sent to prison. Comey has denied that and is speaking more about it today on Good Morning America.
The President of the United States is calling for the imprisonment of a private citizen, as he's done for a whole lot of people who criticize him. That is not acceptable in this country. I hope people will read the book and see why the rule of law is such an important value in this country, and key to that is that the president doesn't get to decide who goes to jail.
You may recall Comey was fired last May during the Russian election meddling investigation. President Trump said it was over Comey's handling of the investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails.
There are just hours left to file your 2017 tax returns, and missing the deadline could mean paying penalties and interest.
10 News reporter John Horn is live at the Carmel Mountain Ranch post office. John, it could start getting crowded there as that midnight deadline gets closer.
That's because this is the only post office in the county that's offering extended hours. So that big sign on the door behind me says that the retail area will be open until 8 o'clock, but the post office also says it will be collecting tax returns until midnight tonight. Now, today, filing may seem like every other time, but multiple experts told me that if you don't plan for next year now, you could be in for a big surprise.
We're jumping, rocking, and rolling here.
Tax deadline. It's a time Kathy Klein's office preps for all year.
We give more hours. We bring in more tax preparers.
Right now, her Santee H&R block office is staffed at 16 strong, readying and filing tax returns leading to the midnight cutoff.
I didn't put the copay.
It may not seem too different to file taxes this year.
So you don't have any out of pocket?
But the tax reform law passed in late 2017 will bring plenty of changes when we file 1 year from now. They're changes San Diegans should already be planning for. For instance, some deductions, such as state and local taxes, will be capped, while others, like the child tax credit, will get larger.
The changes in that new law are vast, and they're going to affect us all in some way, shape, or form.
IRS spokesman Rafael Tolino says the impact could go both ways. If you don't adjust your personal allowances now, you could owe a surprising amount next year. Or you could get a bigger refund, but that's money you could have used throughout the year.
Do some tax planning now, maybe save some time and maybe a headache later.
Klein says when it comes to planning correctly, everyone has to look in the mirror.
Tax preparation is kind of like a snowflake or a fingerprint because everybody's tax situation is different. You can't compare it.
Now, the IRS has a free online tool to help you estimate your withholding for this year, which you'd file next year. If you don't think you can make tonight's deadline, you can ask for a 6-month extension. But if you think you're going to owe money, you should at least send something that would help minimize penalties and interest. For now, live in Carmel Mountain, John Horn, 10 News.
Renee Nelson here in the 10 News Live Center, and this is just in a major crash. That's a deadly crash as well, shutting down the I-10. This is eastbound on your way into Phoenix. Now, before we take that up full for you, if I can show you this map, I want you to have a real good idea of exactly where this is located. So if you've ever gone, from California clear into Phoenix, you're either going to take the 10 or the 8. So this is on the 10, and it's shutting you down from completing your trek into Phoenix, that is. Let's go ahead and take that picture up live for you so you can see exactly what that crash involves. Multiple cars there, also multiple semis involved. We're not sure how many people unfortunately died in this crash, but it is a major incident that is shutting down that entire area of road this morning. We'll give you another update as soon as it's available. Guys?
Wow, thanks for the update there, Renee. All right, new from overnight here, a tree split in two comes crashing down in a Mira Mesa apartment complex. Luckily, it missed all the nearby cars. Our 10 News breaking news tracker had the only camera there on scene. This happened shortly after midnight at the Westbrook Apartments. No one was hurt. Investigators don't know why this tree toppled over.
New this morning, a Chula Vista native says she almost gave up before making history, becoming the first American woman to win the Boston Marathon in 33 years.
Des Linden wins in Boston.
Two-time Olympian Desiree Linden battling through rain, freezing temperatures yesterday. Linden says she wasn't feeling well and thought about just blocking the win for her teammate to let the teammate do well. She even waited for her teammate to go to the bathroom, yet somehow Des Linden came out on top.
She talked about it and said, hey, I'm going to jump in there, and I said I'll try and help you back and block the win. I had offered before and I still wasn't feeling great. And we closed the gap and we were back in it.
Yeah, well, Des now lives in Michigan, but first developed her love for running while attending Hilltop High in Chula Vista. Congratulations. 6:41, in just a few hours, a local Marine will be laid to rest. We're live along the procession route with how you can pay your respects today.
Less wind today, but more sunshine in the forecast. However, changes are in store. I'll show you when we could see some showers.
And after the controversial arrest of 2 black men inside a Philly Starbucks, a California man says he's experienced a similar situation.
Today's market update sponsored by California Coast Credit Union, improving lives in our community.
Wow, the market closed up more than 200 points yesterday. We are up more than 200 points at the open already to 24,788 with the Dow. The Nasdaq is up 72, S&P up 19, United Health is up, Netflix, Boeing, Google, a bunch of health stocks as well as tech stocks leading the way. This is predicted to be the strongest earnings seasons for companies in 7 years. We'll see how the market ends up. Renee?
And Renee Nelson here in the Live Center. We're taking a live look at the White House this morning. President Trump just tweeting against Jerry Brown. Now, he is saying he's firing back at Governor Brown. This was after originally praising his pledge to send troops to the border. And in a tweet earlier this morning, he said that Governor Brown is not looking for safety and security at the border and that crime will only get